The sun is gone. There are no walls, no lamps, no glow on the horizon. Only firelight and a sky thick with stars. So what did your ancestors actually do with the long hours of the dark? 40,000 years ago, you live in a band of maybe 25 people. When night falls, there is no going inside. There is the fire and everything that happens around it. Night was not dead time. It was when some of the most human things we do were invented. By the end of this, you will see why the campfire, not the tool, may have built the modern mind. The most important thing you do at night, you do before it is fully dark. You keep the fire alive. It pushes back the cold and the predators whose eyes you can see at the edge of the light. Fire let your ancestors cook, and for the first time in the history of any animal, it stretched the day past sunset. To make fire from nothing, you spin a wooden shaft against dry tinder until your hands ache, and a single ember finally catches. It is the most valuable skill you own. And when the food is ready, no one eats alone. The meat and the roots are shared, hand to hand, around the same flames. To eat together, at night, around one fire, that is the oldest meal there is. And it did something to us that nothing else had. Firelight is working light too. In its glow, you mend what tomorrow depends on. A spear rehafted, a hide scraped, a fresh edge napped by feel as much as by sight. But once the sun is down, the practical talk fades, and what the night is for begins to change. This is the heart of it. When researchers recorded a hunter-gatherer people in the Kalahari, they found that daytime talk was mostly practical. But after dark, around the fire, about 4/5 of it was stories, myths, journeys, the deeds of people far away and long dead. Night is when a band becomes more than its hunger, when us grows to include the absent, the ancestral, the imagined. Above you is the clearest sky any human will ever see. No streetlight has ever touched it. To these people, the stars are not decoration. They are a calendar, a map, and the oldest story ever told. Star and story are the same thing here, a way to hold knowledge, with no written word. The night is also when the young learn. By firelight, a child watches small hands copy old ones, how to nap an edge, how to read a track, how to hold a story. Knowledge passes in the dark, from one set of hands to the next. But the dark is not gentle. When the cold comes down off the hills, you pull close, bodies and furs and fire, against a night that can quietly kill. To last until morning, you do not last alone. You last together. You do not all sleep at once. Someone is always stirring. An elder who wakes easily, a mother with an infant, a young hunter too restless to settle. Without meaning to, the band keeps watch, all night long. A sleeping camp is never fully asleep, and that, quietly, is a kind of armor against the dark. And here is the surprise. You would think people with no electric light slept like the dead, from dusk to dawn. They did not. And what they did instead is stranger than you would guess. The myth. Before electricity, humans slept at sunset, straight through, far longer than we do. The truth. When scientists studied 3 people still living without electric light, the Hadza, the San, the Tsimane, they found they stayed awake about 3 hours past sunset and slept only around 6.5 hours, less than many of us today. They did not sleep more. They slept cleaner, rising and resting with the warmth of the day, not a clock. So the dark was never empty. It was when you fed the fire, mended the day, read the sky, and told the stories that stitched a handful of people into a people. The next time the lights go out, remember, your ancestors did not fear the night. They filled it, and the very first thing they filled it with was a story. Maybe one, a lot like this.